Ladies and gentlemen, a report just came out, and guess what? Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and some other African countries have been shown to have the least depression rates and depression levels amongst the people, which means to say that, in just to make it simple for everybody, mental health is better in these countries than anywhere in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please cheers before we go ahead. The irony of the fact is that these countries also have some of the most oppressed people in the world in terms of maybe just basic amenities not being provided and some other stuff, right? So why is it that even with all those difficulties, they're still able to find a way to remain happy? And what are the implications of that? The report is also evidence that more money does not give you happiness, even though it's kind of a cool thing to say, okay, don't worry, I want to get money and then I'll find out if I'm not happy. If you're not happy poor, you're not going to be happy rich, because money itself can expand your ability to buy stuff. But when you buy the stuff, then you want other stuff, right? And then you start craving and you start being sad that you can't get other stuff. And it just keeps going on and on and on. And if you don't tackle the things that make you happy when you're not having money, you're probably not going to tackle the same things when you're rich. Right. So this is just evidence that this is true. So apart from counting your blessings that, okay, at least we're not depressed, we're making do with what we have. Let's talk about some other things that are implications of this type of attitude. And one of them is that people who find a way to be happy, regardless of the circumstances, are always the number one people that are used. Manipulators love those type of people. People who have an agenda and will want to pursue their agenda to the end, and the agenda is only benefit them. They love those type of people, because the people that always have a mental health metric that's always good, regardless of the situation, are the less likely to revolt. Because you only revolt, you only start the revolution or partake in a revolution when you don't see too much in life. Like, why is it that people that are depressed are easy to get to do very dangerous activities, to even commit suicide or commit acts that could lead to them dying? Because one reason is because they don't see any reasons leaving. But number two is they don't actually see, they're the depressed people are the least likely to, they're depressed because of something, right? So it's like, I don't see why I'm living if I can't live above a means, right? And then if they find out that somebody is actually responsible for their living below that means, and they don't even see any reason living below that means, and somebody comes and say, hey, let's revolt against this guy who is a problem, those people are more likely to drop everything and revolt, because there's no need to live. Because even though it's a good thing that you're not depressed, it's also like, it tells a story about somebody who says that, you know what, I deserve this level of living, and if I'm not living at this level, then I can't really call what I am doing living. Whereas the other person says, well, I want this type of living, but even if I don't get it, I'm going to make do with what I have. And then there's the politician in the middle, or the leader. Who do you think they prefer? They prefer the other guy, because the politician wants, if it's a bad politician, they just want to do what they want to do and get what they want, right? And so choose the person who is always happy regardless, because I can do whatever I want. And the other guy, I'll be like, damn, I better not play with them, because if I play with them too much, they're just going to topple me and change me and do all those things. That's the story of the world, ladies and gentlemen. That's one story. It's also the story of your life. If you are happy, go marry. Whatever somebody does to you, you might be sad, and then you'll be happy later, because your life is not all about them. You find other means to be happy. Then people will always play you, right? Or you're more likely to be played. Why? Because you don't show anger. They can do something to you, and you don't show them that, hey, what's up, man? Like, you're always not ready to disrupt anything. You just want to go live your life, mind your business. Black people like to mind their business. That one I know. If you like minding your business and making do with what you have, you're always going to be used by manipulators. It's the same thing with countries, right? So you can see where an advantage has now become a disadvantage in terms of long-term growth of a society. So what do? You can't change yourself too much, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. So as in life, as in country, like if you're this person who, you find a way to internalize your happiness, so what people do to you doesn't necessarily affect you. It affects you a little, but not as much. So what you need to do, of course, you need to be able to say no. You need to be able to act as if you're depressed, even if you're not depressed, so you can communicate to people that, hey, we can fuck shit up anytime. What also you need to do is, and this is in your personal life, right? You need to only gravitate to people who are not manipulators, or who don't tend towards manipulation. So you got to avoid narcissist behaviors or attitudes of people. And that word has been overused, but you think about it this way: you got to look for people who are, normally they just take advantage of other people, or they're very into themselves. And so they always, when they talk about things, it's me, 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 me. You always know that if you interact with those people, they already are me oriented. So their goals, nobody else's goals. So they're going to be interpreting you as somebody who can fit into their own story and their goals. And so if you're that type of person on the other side who's not likely to be depressed or has a way to internalize or find happiness from within themselves, those people know that that's not your problem. So they would actually try to use you to achieve their own goal, because they know if you get mad, then you're not going to do nothing and you're going to get happy the next day, right? You, more than anybody else, has to avoid that type of person. And in societies like all those Nigeria, Kenya, and all those happy countries, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to find a way is to let your leaders know that we can fuck shit up, right? But that's one. Number two is the leaders need to only go make deals with countries and companies and organizations that are known not to be manipulators, or they are known to have like a fair deal. Well, fair deal is relative, right? But people who are like, they don't have a long-term agenda, or always ask for very clear documentation, and always if you're signing an agreement, before you sign it, ask for 2 days. You know that if that agreement goes wrong, and if you get the wrong end of the stick, that they know that you're not going to do much. You're going to protest, you're going to do everything, but you're not going to shut down the whole thing and do like you're suicidal because you feel like you want to get the best deal, but if you get a bad deal, you're still going to navigate. So before you get any deal in life, in business, in country, in whatever, if they give you an agreement, take it home, ask for 2 business days, use your eyes and go line by line, use AI and scan it. Do that work, that hard work up front, because you know the kind of person you are. Happiness from within is not a bad thing. You just need to screen your agreements, screen your contact, and screen the people that you let into your life, because you know that even if those people come into your life and start causing chaos, you're going to find a way to find peace in yourself. So you're not going to give them ultimate chaos. Me personally, for instance, I could bring up random chaos and do all those things. I could just do it for doing sake, so you know that, yes, I got it in me. But if you check on me like 3-4 days later, ladies and gentlemen, I found peace, because you're not going to control my destiny. But as I've grown, and that's what I'm trying to get you guys to do, it's like, you have to be chaotic. You have to show people that, hey, I could strangle the hell out of you. But when I strangle you and go back home, 3 business days, I'm going to be fine, right? Because that's just who I am. But also, try not to get into situations where you have to strangle people. And you, more than everybody else, needs to do that thing. That's a lesson I got to tell you today. Listen to me. My name is Professor Olua Fresh Out Ebeleju CJ. I came here to give dating advice. When people have dragged me to another place, I will talk to you. You will listen to me. I will see you in the next video.